Yeah, hey Baker, how you doing? Your reaction to the fifth-year option being picked up a few days ago with the team, and then what would it mean to you, especially given the trajectory of the franchise right now, if you were able to come to terms on an extension this offseason that would put you under contract in Cleveland long term?
Yeah, first and foremost, that's one of those things that's not in my control, but I'm truly thankful and grateful for them taking the chance, Andrew and the Haslam family, for picking up that fifth-year option and making it one more year in Cleveland and extending this journey that we started 3 years ago today. Just saw something on that, so I've been kind of thinking about that all day. So I'm very happy about that. And then in terms of long-term deals or all that, I'm taking it one day at a time. Still got 2 years, 2 seasons left on this full rookie contract now to see what happens.
You said you've been thinking about the fifth-year extension here lately. Have you thought about a long-term extension? Is it something you try not to think about too much, or is it kind of unavoidable?
I get asked about it a lot, but it's also one of those things that I trust wholeheartedly in the Mills family, my agents, and for them to handle that behind the scenes. But right now, it's about setting up the foundation for this upcoming season and continuing to build on what we left with last year and continue to improve.
Thank you, Jake. Nate Ulrich's next.
Baker, good to see you. Hey, just to kind of, button that up a little bit. I know you say you're taking it one day at a time, but would you prefer to get something done this off season, or would you be okay waiting, even if, like other guys in your draft class, like Lamar and Josh, get theirs done?
No, I hope the best for them. Whatever happens, happens, but it really is out of my control at this point. The fifth-year option just happened, so a long-term deal, I think, is a little bit on the back burner for me. I'm not worried about it. I want to go out and win games, and I think everything happens for a reason. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you, Nate. Mary Kay Cabot, you're up.
Yeah, Baker, with the off-season program and you guys deciding to go virtual, can you just talk a little bit tell us how you are preparing for the season? What are your plans in terms of getting together with teammates or not? And how is all that going for you?
Yeah, we all kind of came together and decided, opting out and doing all virtual off season, and just knowing that, safety precautions, but also what we were able to accomplish from all across the country last year, installing a whole new system for everybody. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, we will eventually get together and work on those things, but just working out. I know everybody's at a different pace in their off-season schedule right now, but it's been good to get on these virtual meetings and start to see these guys face again and talk ball with them.
Were you planning on doing hosting guys again in Austin? And do you have to kind of put that on the back burner for now too, a little bit?
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of on different schedules when it comes in terms of vaccinations and everybody's personal opinions. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So yeah, we will eventually get together. There's no doubt about that. We're going to try and do everything that we can and do it as safely as possible. But we know we have to, put the work in right now to start fast and hit the ground running come fall.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Daryl Ryder, go ahead.
Hey, Baker, good to see it. Not to belabor this, fifth-year option and contract extension thing, but just from your perspective, are you ready to deal with all the conversation that's going to come in these next 2 years about your long-term contract situation? How do you plan to handle that?
We win games, everything will happen how it should. That's my mentality, and I truly do believe that.
And you mentioned you're kind of feeling nostalgic about the Browns drafting you number 1 overall in that, and going back to the combine when you said you were the guy to turn this thing around in Cleveland, and that's why they should draft you. So at the end of the season, you didn't want to really reflect too much on the year because obviously the loss was still, fresh on your mind. But now that some time has passed, have you been able to kind of reflect and appreciate your 3 years with the Browns and just how instrumental you've been in turning the franchise around and achieving that goal, and now trying to keep that momentum going forward?
Yeah, it's been obviously an exciting the past week or so, 7 days. Obviously Denzel being picked right after me, and getting his 5th-year option picked up as well. And just that foundation and that, that work we had to put in, obviously I've had a lot of help along the way. It's been a roller coaster of the past 3 years. And I think that time that everybody in that building, a lot of new faces, but I think the time we put in for not just things on the field, but culture wise and setting a standard is finally, coming into fruition to where you can start to see it, the bigger picture play out. And that's why I'm excited about, the guys we have coming back. This is the first time ever in my career that you have 11 guys that at one point started on this offense all coming back. So I think that's truly pretty special. But I think when it comes into term of looking back 3 years ago to this day, a life-changing moment for me, my family, friends, and being surrounded by a lot of teammates and lifelong friends now. I think it's been a good journey, but it's nowhere close to being done. And I think that's the best part.
Thank you, Daryl. Scott Petrick, go to you.
Hey, Baker, I know you reached out to a lot of the free agents that signed, but what was your reaction to kind of the haul that Andrew Berry was able to do on defense?
I've been extremely impressed, with the pieces that we're bringing in and reaching out to these guys to, welcome them in with open arms and to know that they're coming into a place that wants to win. That, it's inviting the guys who want to contribute and obviously are key essential pieces and will help us out a ton. So looking forward to it. Obviously they've done a great job and an exciting week for us as well. It's draft week, but as for the guys that are already on the team, we're doing these meetings, everybody's working out and doing these things. So it's got a good feeling to it, but it's April for a reason. So that we're setting the expectations ourselves. Everybody can, talk on the outside, but I'm excited about, the people we've brought in just culture wise.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Tom Withers will have our next question.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Baker, we've covered most of the hard news. I got to ask you, did you believe in UFOs before the offseason?
I'm a firm believer in UFOs and Sasquatch. So it's real. I saw it. I'm glad the Navy finally confirmed some more pictures. Now everybody doesn't think I'm as crazy. I believe.
What was that like? I mean, can you take us through just, I know you said you and your wife were just kind of walking home from a restaurant or something. Take us through what happened.
Yeah, we were driving home from dinner. I don't remember what day it was, but just driving home and had the music going. And it was one of those things. She was looking down at her phone right in the passenger seat, and nighttime. So when you're looking at your phone screen, everything's dark around. You can only see that light, but it was bright enough to where it caught her attention too. We kind of just looked at each other and like, did you just see that? Yeah. So other people in that area confirmed too. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Fred Greetham, you're up.
Hey, Baker, how big is it for you to have come back for the first time with the Browns with the same coach, the same coordinator, the same system, and even the same players? How much can that help you build off of last year?
When it comes in terms of looking at teams that have been successful, not just teams, any business model, any organization, when it comes to continuity and everybody being on the same page and having the same goals, that's so important. So for me going into it, this is the first time since having Coach Stoops from 2015 to 2016 as the same head coach. It's the first time it's happened for me. And I'm obviously looking forward to it, to continuing to build on what we had started last year. And like I said, it's nowhere near from being over. And we weren't satisfied when it came to just making it into the playoffs, winning one game and then losing in the next round. So I think that's the great part about what we have coming back is everybody got a little taste of that. New faces and some guys that had made it farther. Everybody's hungry for more.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. Jeff Shadell, you're up.
Hey, Baker, 2 years ago, great things were expected of you guys, and we know that didn't go so well, and it's sort of like the same this year. So did you learn anything as a team from 2019 to make sure this won't be a repeat?
First I'd say, just the culture, anything related to that, our whole team, it's nowhere near what it was. And that's a good thing. You know, we've worked hard on setting a standard and you know, when it comes to expectations and things that other people on the outside want to portray or predict, it is just that. It's people on the outside. And like I said, we'll set our own expectations, and it's only April. So we have to work for our ultimate goals and continue to, you know, put those pieces in, build those blocks for the long-term goal.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll go back to Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Baker, in hindsight, how big of a factor was the shape you were able to get into last offseason and what you were able to do in year 3? And kind of what's your plan for that this offseason? You guys are, you know, kind of in a similar boat, being away from the facility.
Kevin, Alex Van Pelt and I, we were all kind of laughing because I came back in such good shape. They said, I have to surpass that. So he said, I set the expectations so too high. No, but you know, plan on doing the same thing. Still working out with the same trainer, CJ, down in Austin, and you know, doing these little things right, but just continuing to you know, do all the things necessary to take care of my body. But then also, you know, now I'm not just learning from scratch when it comes to this system. So really making these next steps and details when it comes to our plays, schemes, and truly having control and grasp of our whole system.
Thank you, Nate. Jake Trotter, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Baker, the numbers show that you've had more consistent success throwing to other receivers other than or versus Odell. You know, that said, you finished last season playing with a ton of confidence. Odell looks like he's, you know, close to being healthy again, or if not there already. This is your 3rd year together. Do you feel like the conditions are in place for the two of you to really elevate your connection on the field to a level that we have not seen yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, anytime you're going in from year 1 to year 2 in the same system, you're going to make a tremendous jump. But I also think, you know, where we were at before his injury happened on you know, an underthrown ball by me, that we truly didn't have a true identity on offense at that point. And I think, you know, that took our bye week right in the middle of the season last year to really sit down and do a self-scout and for us to grow. So I think, you know, I've talked to Odell. He's very happy where he's at on the rehab process. You know, I'm happy for him. He looks good. He feels good. And, you know, looking forward to, you know, starting where we should.
There's the narrative that, you know, the offense took off, you know, as soon as Odell got hurt, which you guys played a lot better offensively from week 7 on. You in particular, was that more to do with you guys, specifically you in particular, getting more comfortable with a new offense yet again and gaining more confidence in that? And do you feel like you'll be able to incorporate Odell into where you guys left off last year? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I told you guys last year, you know, during the season that when we had that bye week, we were able to truly sit down and kind of see what we were doing well, what we weren't, and we were able to grow from there. So, you know, timing wise, it was unfortunate, you know, when the injury happened, but that's why you see, you know, the growth that we had from the first half to the second half of the year. I wouldn't say that it's because we're not throwing to him. I mean, you look at, you take one person off, you still have 10 other guys that are on the field. And so it's not about that. The narrative can be what it is, but we're looking forward to getting back to work together.
Thanks, Jake. Mary Kay Cabot, you're up.
Hey, Baker, with the NFL draft in Cleveland coming up on Thursday, just wanted to first ask you how exciting that is. Will you be in town for any of the festivities, and how great is this for Cleveland?
I think, well, first, no, I will not be there. I'll be back home watching it from afar, but I think it's tremendous. I think anything around the draft, the amount of people that it brings into the town, the city, that's so good for all the businesses that have been hit so hard because of the pandemic. So hopefully anybody that has gone through tough times gets a little bit of a break from people coming in to visit from out of town, obviously doing it, you know, safely within the protocols, but it's an exciting thing for Cleveland. And, you know, the whole setup and the pictures I've seen so far, it looks amazing. And, you know, I think it's going to be a special weekend for Clevelanders.
And just real quick, everybody seems to be thinking defense in the first round for the Browns. So are you in Andrew's ear to maybe grab another weapon?
I am not. I let him make those decisions, and I'll whoever we add on offensively, defensively, welcome them in with open arms, like I said about everybody else that we've added in free agency. And, let's set the standard and teach these guys a new system and roll with it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Go to Tom Withers. Need to make this one our last one for Baker.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Baker, you touched on this before. You really dedicated yourself to your body and your craft last off season, and having the success that came off that, did that even motivate you to work just as hard this off season?
Even harder. I think that, the part about me and my competitiveness, to never be satisfied. I think that's a huge reason why, I'm here today, why I'm at this level of, playing in the NFL. So I think for me, it's continuing to harness that and work even harder, because it's not over. But I also think, everything that I did last offseason kind of carried through a little bit of that throughout the year. And then, so I'm able to start even more ahead of schedule this offseason. So, and that's the best thing about it for me. I'm not having to start over completely, just continuing to build.